Have you ever said yes and yet every part of you was saying no? Or you left a situation or a group of people and you just felt completely drained? These are signs that you might be giving away your power and not even realizing it. In today's video, I'm going to go into 3 ways that we're giving away our power as empaths, as sensitives, and then steps or things we can start doing to connect within, start to reclaim and bring back that power for ourselves. So thank you for joining me. I'm AmyC with You Finding You. I'm an intuitive and transformational coach, and I help you start to look within to no longer have to look outside of yourself for all the answers, but really finding it within. And currently in the dialog box below, you'll see that I have a freebie that you can snag up, which is the intuition map. And this is a little quiz where you can see where and what areas, strengths you have in your own intuition, and then some little techniques or tools that you can start using to develop it more and strengthen all of those intuitive knowings in yourself. So again, do check that out. That's in the dialog box below. So let's go ahead and jump on into this. And the first sign that you're giving away your power is that you're prioritizing other people's opinions, beliefs, stories over what you feel. Or if you're like me, you didn't even realize, don't even realize that you can connect within. That your beliefs or storyline, like mine was that everyone else's opinions were more important than mine. And so if it was something where I had to make a decision where other people were involved, my opinion did not matter. It's like everyone else's is what was more important. And I never even realized I could check in with myself to be like, oh, this is my opinion. This is how I feel. But instead, I went to everyone else, got their opinions, and then based it on what everyone else felt or believed. And in a way too, like if I went with someone else's opinion, I felt safer. It was kind of like, oh, well, it was their opinion, it wasn't mine, you know? So it was like a way to kind of stay safe too. But it really was not honoring myself at all, or even checking in to see what my beliefs were, what my opinions were. And often I found myself then stepping away from a group and being more independent because I found that I could make my own decisions for me and it didn't have to include other people. But it then became a pattern in my life of being more independent and not really part of a group. And again, it was another way of me being able to stay safe, but it was not connecting and it was more disconnecting. So I had to start looking within and really honoring the things within me. So a couple of things that you can start to do to bring back that power and connection within yourself is first, take a pause and connect within or listen within and ask yourself, like, how do I feel about this? Or what is my choice? What is my decision? And again, like for myself, I really never even checked in with myself or believed that I could do that. Everyone else's opinions were more important than mine. So taking that first step of just connecting within, starting to listen within, or even getting a sense of how do I feel about this? And the second thing along the same lines, and when you need to make these decisions, connecting with them, but also connecting in with the body sensations. So is it tightening or is it more expansive and more open? As you connect into those feelings and sensations, you build up this trust as well, but you build up a knowing of, oh, this is how I feel. Like I feel a no when I'm tightening up in my body, or I feel a yes when I'm more open and more expansive. Oh, okay, this is actually the choice I want and what is right for me. Then the second sign that you're giving away your power is you're saying yes out of guilt or obligation. And years ago, I went to this nonviolent communication retreat, or NVC retreat, and I met this gal there, and we hung out the whole time together, and I felt really close. We really started to connect during that retreat. And afterwards, we were messaging each other all the time, and I was enjoying the connection. But then I started to see that it went from, honeymoon phase as friends, even, to like, oh, now she's getting needy. She's getting and requiring and wanting things of me. And what I didn't see is that she was kind of on the side of narcissistic traits, and I was on the side of empath traits. And of course, I was feeding into whatever she needed and wanted. But at a certain point, when she was kind of almost demanding or wanting things from me, I would get this ick feeling of, I don't want to, and it's like, okay, fine, I'm messaging you back what you want, but I don't really want to be doing this. Eventually, we did end the friendship. I mean, we weren't living in the same town, so it was kind of an easy way to end the connection. But I also was really learning in that dynamic that, well, what were my fears of coming up with conflict, or I don't want conflict, so I'm just going to reply back to whatever she wants. But that really wasn't the answer, because as I listened to that ick feeling in me, it was like, that's not actually, like, this isn't a friendship to me. So, in ending the relationship, thankfully, I wasn't having to meet her needs anymore, and we both went off on our ways to her getting needs met from someone else and me getting them somewhere else, and me continuing to learn this lesson that, oh, I don't want conflict, so I'm just going to keep messaging back whatever you want, rather than actually listening to the what my body really wanted. And so, a couple of things you can start doing to bring that power back, or learning the lessons and listening within, like I needed. The first one is setting a boundary, and you can start small. Like, okay, this week I'm going to set one boundary. And it can be even something like, if you're really busy and you're not checking your phone, or you can't message right away back and you message later when you have time. It could be setting up those limitations of, hey, I'm busy right now, I will reply back later. Again, start small, whatever feels right, but start to listen to when your boundaries are being breached. And that was definitely one with this friendship, that when I say breached, is she was saying, I need this from you, and then I just would do it. But in my body, I felt such a, I don't want to do this, oh, ick. and, and I still did it. So it was like I was not listening to that voice in me that was like, this isn't what you actually want to do, and it's breaching this boundary within you. And the other thing that you can do, again, to bring back your power, is listening to those body yeses and nos. And I talk about it a lot in other videos as well, of listening to, when is your body going, yes, this feels great, go along with this, where you feel more expansive, excited, more open in your body, versus when you're like, I don't want to, like that ick feeling I was getting of like, no, this isn't right, don't do this. And starting to honor those times when you notice or feel those things, listen to it, start checking in with it, and then building up a trust and honoring it. And again, I know for myself, I was afraid of the conflict. I was afraid of a lash back at me. So it was like, am I honoring myself, or am I in a place of fear of that lash back? So which place would you rather be in, where you're actually honoring yourself, or being in a place of fear? And the third way that you're giving away your power is that you're not listening to that inner voice that is saying something isn't right here. And when I look back at a past relationship I had, I stayed in it and then stayed in it and stayed in it until I was completely broken down. So, like, I had to get to the worst place for me to see that there was not something right here. And I kind of did it again in my work life too, where I got completely burned out, completely kind of destroyed. My body was really feeling horrible at the end of it. And so I pushed myself to this extreme place where it was like, there's something not right here. The whole time your body's whispering. But I was so disconnected, so unaware, not listening to any of these voices inside of me. And now you don't have to be to that extreme. You don't have to be to that level of being in a relationship where you're like, yeah, this doesn't feel good, and you leave feeling pretty broken, or in a work relationship or in work where you're burned out and really, again, destroyed almost in it. So you don't have to be to that extreme, but you could just be in a situation or at work or going to an event and you're like, something isn't right here, or you're feeling again drained in yourself. So it could even be in everyday little things where you're getting this little whisper or this feeling or sensation within you that is kind of like, there's something not right here. And yet, like in my case of the ex and of work, where I just didn't even listen to any of the cues or any of the information going on. So, ways that you can start bringing back your own power, starting to connect within, is like I mentioned before, where you pause before you make a decision, or you listen for the yeses and nos. Listen to or start connecting in. When I say listen, it's kind of just noticing the sensations of your body, noticing these little subtle things that the body is bringing in. And you can then start doing things where you keep an intuitive journal or whatever you want to call it, or even a dream journal where you start to notice what's going on inside of you. And you take notes of these things. Because as you start to take notes of these things, you build up this trust within you. You build up your own language and your own knowing. So, like if you get a gut feeling in a certain situation, you take note of it and you write about whatever was coming up. But it's like then you just writing about it, it's like next time you get that gut feeling again, you'll start to notice it like very quickly. So, it's again building up this trust or a knowing with your own inner language. And a couple other things that you can do to bring back this power, connecting within yourself, is having more solitude, more what I call me time, where you really are just spending time with yourself and being present with yourself. So you're off of all the socials, you're not with other people or watching TV, you're actually just with yourself. And you can do those things like going out in nature, being present in nature. And I always like connecting into my senses in nature because it brings me very present very quickly. And then as well, you can do body scans throughout the day. So you're checking in with your body and you're making it more of a routine or a pattern or a way that you're like, oh, this is what's going on in me. And this is how I feel in these places or in these situations. And you're really, again, starting to build up that language of your own inner knowing. So, reclaiming your power is coming back home into you, coming back into yourself, learning and listening to the language of your body and building up a trust and a truth within you, like knowing what your truth is. And it starts with little small steps, like just little things that you can start building up and building up again that language that you learn of your own intuition with yourself. And one empowered decision, one decision that you connect into yourself, one leads into another, and you start building up this knowing within you, and you start really trusting that voice inside of you and no longer having to look outside of you for those things. So thank you guys for joining me today. If you are enjoying these videos and getting value out of them, do hit that like, share, and subscribe. And I would be curious, do add in the comments below if there's any tips or things that came through as ahas, like, oh, this is really helpful for me. Do add and share in the comments. And if you have other ones as well that you would like to share, I would love to hear. So thank you again. I'll see you in the next video.